In general, when one talks about the Argentinian case, what one finds is that there are very capable people, people that when they go out of the country are very successful, but however, locally speaking, they might fail. And so there are some issues. For example, the first one has to do with the role of public education. For example, when one sees the result, you find that every time the formation or the training from the private sector is most important. For example, the first myth that needs to be corrected is for the public sector to say that's not true, that's false. For example, the private sector in education generates what the market demands. However, the public sector, as its sustainability and results, do not depend on how successful they are in the placing of professionals in the market. They dedicate to the formation of professionals that live outside of the scheme of reality. A good example, for instance, in the case of Argentina, we can say it's of our Minister of Economy. We have an economist who has graduated with honors, with all of the honors, but with a Marxist profile. And 4 years ago, the economy has not launched out with the best performances in its history or with the best exchange history. An economy that has to have been growing at 7, 8, or 9% is currently debating on if it's not or if it is in crisis. So depending on the needs of the market and what the market dictates, well, clearly it's satisfied by the private sector. And so there is an issue of how the system generates the signals and how it internalizes it and produces what the market wants. And so I think that it's an interesting point, especially, Ricardo, when you were talking about the case in Brazil and the comparison with what England was and its equivalent. We have to consider if the education that we are generating is an education of quality, because you can have many years of schooling and nonetheless you don't have good output. Why? Because the trainers are not good. And you also have to consider the assessment of who the trainers are. Because you can generate a great university full of Marxists, and when you prepare a Minister of Economy, then it's going to have a different impact to the economy in the country. And in my country, that happens in different levels.